Hi, welcome to Solo Playing Tips. So this one's all about villain monologues. And now often I know I'm about to hit the kind of the big showdown, maybe a session or two before I actually get there. So, I'm kind of working the story's filtering down, I'm eliminating options. It's the big showdown's definitely coming. And so when I'm in that situation, I start to think about about the villain. What kind of villain is he? Is he kind of an over the top megalomaniac? Is he kind of going to take this defeat well? Is he going to rant and rage? And I start to think about what kinds of things I would expect him to say. And it may not always play out how I imagine it before I play it, because maybe he doesn't lose. Maybe it's a stalemate. Maybe I actually thrash him. That's all up in the air. That hasn't been played. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can get a feel for what this villain's like, what kind of things he's going to go for. And then when you get that chance for the villain to do his monologue, even maybe it's at this before the showdown, or maybe he's effectively on zero hit points and he's going to die, but you want to give him some memorable last words. So you can use this scene to clean up any loose ends, or you know, if there was something which didn't quite fit in your clues, there was a clue which didn't sit with all the others. You can either kind of try and clear that up in his monologue. Ha ha ha, you never realized that my whatever. Or you can kind of build out their personalities. If he's the kind of villain that's going to take this defeat well and then kind of learn from his mistakes and come back tougher, you can kind of almost set that now and then use that as a quality for later adventures and later clashes with the same villain. Did he learn from what were your strengths, and then he's going to uh, use those against you, or be prepared for those kind of things next time. You can try and tie these in to world events. If this was a minor stepping stone in the villain's plan to take over, a particular kingdom, then you can kind of set that now. You can explain that now, what his plans are and how you can never stop him from achieving, that grand scheme. You know, you can have them gloat, and be overconfident, and maybe drop some clues for your so excuse me, drop some clues for uh, you know the next adventure or the next milestone on this adventure. Um, so use these things, tie it into the world, tie it into the setting, tie it into your adventures. Maybe there was an adventure before which you didn't think fitted into this kind of campaign plot, but this time, you can tie that in. Kind of, he suddenly says this is the second time you defeated him, but you only know of one. Then maybe one of your earlier adventures, also was part of his plans. And it's just dropping a word in like that can suddenly tie your other adventures into this new one. And then you can, you, know, you can kind of do the whole kind of I've got away with it, if it wasn't for you meddling kids. You can throw in some cliches. You can kind of try and prep something for a future adventure. But it's really about trying to make the whole kind of sh- showdown final, give your characters closure. Even if the villain's going to escape, you can get closure because you know you have defeated their scheme this time. You have saved the village this time. You have prevented the war this time. So you can kind of round off the adventure. You know you have completed this adventure because the villain basically tells you so. And you can put those words into his mouth, and then you kind of this is done. And from that point, the next adventure is a new adventure. This is a good time for you to level up or award experience or whatever you do in your games. But you can close those game notes and say this is a um, an adventure, and if you were defeated, then it ended in some level of failure. If you defeat the villain, then it was a success, and you can kind of close that off, and then you can start planning your next adventure. And it all kind of all the scene setting and framing for that comes from you know or can come from the villain's monologue where he explains his plan or gloats or whatever. So that's it. That's the tip. And I get the most mileage out of this by kind of trying to think about this beforehand, so I don't have to come at it cold on as the scene starts. I don't then have to think of all these things he's going to say. Okay, thank you for watching.